And in just over 2 weeks from now, Nirmala Sitharaman, the finance minister, will be presenting her budget. The economic situation is bleak. India Inc. is witnessing a slump, particularly the auto sector. And the question now is, can the finance minister's budget jumpstart the economy?
Even as the budget is being written, bleak news is coming in. The December quarter results have just started coming in. So far, 29 companies out of mainly 22 are small cap companies have announced their results. And data from CMIE shows the income growth is merely 7% as compared to 8% a year ago. And the net profit is down by 1.3% compared to a negative 2.3% a year ago. The trend for December quarter is looking like September quarter, when corporate revenues registered negative growth for the first time in 14 quarters. The decline has majorly been because of the slowdown in automobile sector that has been suffering from poor monthly car sales and dealership shutdowns. The automobile sector is the single biggest sector, contributing 7% to the GDP and has perhaps suffered the longest, 10 months of falling sales. Rajiv Bajaj, who heads one of largest two-wheelers manufacturing company, Bajaj Auto, told NDTV what the government needs to do. The sector has reportedly lost at least 3 lakh jobs.
It is now about 1.5 years that sales or business has been headed down. And there are always multiple reasons for something like this. But in my view, the single most important reason or the most inimical factor out there responsible for this state of affairs is over-regulation. It is over-regulation that is killing the industry.
Revenue for auto sector has slid in last 5 quarters, and so has the revenue for the steel sector, power sector and FMCG companies. Analysts blame it on the weak consumption in consumer-facing sectors. Pain in automobiles continue owing to demand slowdown. Aggregate revenue of listed automobile players is estimated to have dropped 9 to 10% in the third quarter. During the quarter, revenue growth of fast-moving consumer goods companies too is expected to have moderated 4 to 6% owing to weakening of rural consumption. The revenues of India Inc. have been on a decline since last 5 quarters, that is from second quarter of financial year 2019.
I think we need to make sure that the capacity utilization rate improves. Today, if we're looking at some of the RBI data, it shows that for the second quarter of this year, it's a little less than 70%. So quite clearly, there is surplus capacity which is there in industry, and that's one of the reasons why fresh investment is not taking place. And that also has a bearing on the overall employment scenario. In terms of infrastructure, where we see that there's less incentive for the private sector to get into infrastructure at this particular stage, because even the funding options have gotten constrained.
This has come in at a time when consumer inflation has touched a 5-year high and GDP growth has fallen to a 6.5-year low at 4.5% for September quarter. The government is stepping up the capital expenditure, but to meet the budget estimates, the tax collection also needs to grow. Although the government is taking measures like corporate tax cut, bank recapitalization, disinvestments, the upcoming budget also needs to reflect the current macroeconomic conditions because Indian economy currently is facing twin problems: rising inflation and slowing growth. In Mumbai, with camera person Praveen Ji Rohit, this is Purva Chitnis for NDTV.